Book Fantastics hosted its third edition of the Harare Open Book Festival on the 19th of October 2024 at Ella the Garden, Newlands, Harare. The book festival ran under the theme Necessary Conversations. The festival has grown in patronage and impact, attracting sponsorship and partnering with various stakeholders to deliver a program aptly themed Necessary Conversations, which invited critical discourse on Zimbabwe and Africa's literary scape. Harare Open Book Festival was born out of a need to create a safe space for authors, readers, publishers, and those interested in celebrating our literature richness. The 2024 edition of Harare Open Book Festival, curated by Book Fantastics, roped in poet, author, and self-publishing consultant Margaret Chideme, whose debut poetry anthology, Gather the Children, is on its third print run. The edition also saw the introduction of spoken word performances from Kuda Rice and Zukiswa Wanner, as well as performances by Gunyambira Ari. The Busy-ness of books. Brain Garusa in conversation with Margaret Chideme. Margaret, an author and publisher, highlighted experiences from her journey and shared some insights from the publishing research, Publishing Futures, a study of the publishing landscape in Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. Key in this research is how the publishing scape is dependent on digital platforms as a marketing tool and a shift towards digital publishing, which also comes with its limitations for locally based authors. My Story Matters, Memory Chirere in conversation with Mono Mukundu. Mono Mukundu spoke like that uncle who has made his fair share of mistakes, learned from them, and now uses his experiences to guide the younger generation and not want to airbrush the truth. Mono shared about how the difficult parts of writing his biographical book had been the embarrassing bits, such as when he contracted an STI, and the most exciting bits were about meeting the love of his life, his wife of 30 years now. Despite the naysayers advising her to stay away from a musician as they are without prospect and morals and would end up dying of AIDS, which used to be an occupational hazard for musicians of the yesteryear era. Mono also shared on how he started working for renowned musician, the late great Oliver Mtukudzi, and equaled the experience to working for the national team, as Oliver was one of the country's greatest musical export, and he learned from the man, especially how to treat team members. Keynote address, Sue Nyathi. Sue Nyathi gave a keynote address which touched on various inspirations behind her bodies of work, which include The Polygamist, The Gold Diggers, A Family Affair, and An Angel's Demise. Sue has been using her craft to have difficult conversations and kill off characters. Books are an important platform in tackling necessary conversation. They show one is not alone, someone has also experienced what you have. Zimbabwe often clocks itself as a religious and Christian society, but our morality is sometimes questionable, hiding experiences away behind a religious facade, which makes some conversations taboo. Yet these are things happening as explored in A Family Affair. The Gold Diggers tackles migration in the wake of xenophobia, colonization, and its mass displacement. A Family Affair is about families and things swept beneath the carpet, the trauma and pain. An Angel's Demise interrogates the history of Zimbabwe's liberation struggle. Beyond the Making of an African City, Selina Zigomo in conversation with Siphiwe Gloria Ndlovu. Siphiwe shared on community from the context of a City of Kings trilogy novels. We capture stories the way we have told them and the fantastical things our forebears encountered. The journeys are different, but it's all connected. Colonization was a violent crime, stealing our identities in an exploitative relationship with the land. While the books may seem rooted on the land, at their core they are a story about belonging. The past 200 years of our history and genealogy has been movement and migration. At the end of the day, we're all searching for a sense of communal belonging. Legends Hour with Chiundura Moyo. In a quest to not forget our literary heritage, Harare Open Book Festival also concluded a reflective segment with the veteran author Chiundura Moyo. The author has a tell-all documentary that will be revealing most things people want to know about his journey. Desire Aesthetics in conversation with Placidia, Chiwita, and Zukiswa Wanner. Award-winning author Zukiswa Wanner and debut author Placidia Chiwita captivated the audience with readings from their respective works, Love, Marry, Kill, and Poison Passion, as they explored some of the meaning behind their names and the aesthetics behind their bodies of work. Zukiswa means she who is loved or beloved, and Placidia is of Latin origin, meaning placid, calm, peaceful, and meek. Encounters with Zimbabweans on the pages. Sista Zanda in conversation with Bene. There's a running joke on how, because of migration, if we throw a stone somewhere in the world, it will land on a Zimbabwean. How do we then as Zimbabweans portray our identity and stay true to it, given the cultural appropriation that stem from colonization and the mass migration? Writing residencies, challenges and opportunities. Beaton Mabaso in conversation with Zimbabweans. I was scheduled to have a conversation session with author and poet Zimbabweans, which unfortunately didn't happen due to unforeseen circumstances. I had practiced my opening remarks, which would reflect how my initial reaction had been to decline the honor, as I felt unqualified to be part of such a high-profile discussion. And anyway, what do I know of residency programs? Imposter syndrome much? Shortly after being picked to be part of the Harare Open Book Festival, I found myself as a lead facilitator of a creative residency program run by Tikisi. The world moves in mysterious ways. One question I would have loved answered was, how do you balance between gaining new experiences and staying grounded in your own identity? That's pretty much a wrap for the 2024 edition of the Harare Open Book Festival. And of course, it's always a pleasure meeting connections you know from the internet in real life. So shout out to Sue Nyathi, Shona Tiger, Mazitategu, Nkosi, and to all the new connections made.